They vanished without a trace. 1 century they ruled everything. The next, silence. The Kushan Empire built history's greatest crossroads, spread Buddhism across Asia, grew wealthier than Rome. Then came the erasure. 2,000 years ago, a terrified people fled across the frozen steppes of Central Asia. The Yuezhi, nomadic horsemen driven from their homeland by the unstoppable Xiongnu Confederation. They had lost everything. Their pastures, their dignity, their future. For generations, they wandered, searching for a place to call home. But here's where it gets strange. These refugees, these defeated nomads with nothing but horses and desperation, would build one of the most powerful empires the ancient world had ever seen. They just didn't know it yet. What happened next defies everything we think we know about how civilizations rise. Because the Yuezhi weren't conquerors by choice. They were survivors. And survival, it turns out, was the perfect preparation for empire. When the Yuezhi finally stopped running, they found themselves in Bactria, modern-day Afghanistan and Pakistan. And this land was no empty wilderness. It was a crossroads. Greek kingdoms had ruled here since Alexander the Great. Persian traditions ran deep. Indian culture seeped up from the south. Most conquerors would have burned it all down. The Yuezhi did something radical. They absorbed everything. Greek sculpture techniques merged with Buddhist devotion. Persian administrative systems combined with Indian philosophy. And then the empire made a mistake it couldn't undo. Wait. I said mistake. But was it really? Because what looked like chaos became their greatest weapon. If this is blowing your mind, drop a like because we're just getting started. Around the 1st century CE, one clan rose above the others. The Kushans. And their leader, Kujula Kadphises, had a vision that would reshape Asia. The Kushan expansion was unlike anything the ancient world had seen. Not because of military genius, though they had that. Not because of vast armies, though they commanded those too. What happened next changed history, forever. The Kushans realized something that no empire before them truly understood. Trade was power. And they sat at the exact center of the world's trade routes. To the west, Rome craved Chinese silk and Indian spices. To the east, China wanted Roman glass and Mediterranean coral. And every single caravan, every merchant, every precious cargo had to pass through Kushan territory. Think about that for a second. Imagine controlling the only highway between the world's 2 greatest economies. The Kushans didn't just tax this trade. They transformed it. They standardized weights and measures. They guaranteed safe passage. They built caravanserais every day's journey along the routes. For merchants, the Kushan Empire wasn't an obstacle. It was an opportunity. But wealth alone doesn't build empires that echo through millennia. The Kushans understood something deeper. And this is where I need you to pay attention because this changes everything. Around 120 CE, a new emperor took the throne. Kanishka the Great. And he would become the most important ruler you've probably never heard of. Kanishka inherited an empire already rich beyond imagination. But the real tragedy was just beginning. No, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. Before the tragedy, there was triumph. Kanishka looked at his multicultural empire and made a revolutionary decision. Instead of forcing one religion on his subjects, he embraced them all. Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Greek gods. All welcome, all protected. But Buddhism, that faith born in India, found in Kanishka its greatest champion. He called the Fourth Buddhist Council. He standardized Buddhist scriptures. He sent missionaries across the Himalayas into China. Let me put this in perspective. Without Kanishka, Buddhism might never have spread beyond India. But everything I just told you about Kushan glory, that's just the setup. The fall was coming. Nobody saw it. At its peak, the Kushan Empire stretched from the Aral Sea to the Bay of Bengal. Their coins circulated from Egypt to Japan. Their art influenced cultures for 1,000 miles in every direction. And here's the twist that nobody talks about. The very thing that made them powerful became the weapon of their destruction. Remember how the Kushans built their wealth on trade routes? Remember how every merchant had to pass through their territory? What would you have done if those routes suddenly shifted? Because that's exactly what happened. Maritime technology improved. Ships got bigger, more reliable, capable of sailing directly from Rome to India without ever touching Kushan soil. The Silk Road didn't disappear overnight, but it started to bleed. Slowly at first. A few merchants choosing the sea route. Then more. Then most. The Kushans watched their lifeblood drain away, and there was nothing they could do to stop it. And this is where everything fell apart. The 3rd century CE hit the Kushans like a hammer. From the west, the newly powerful Sasanian Persians smelled weakness. They pushed into Kushan territory, seizing provinces that had been theirs for generations. From the east, Indian kingdoms sensed the vacuum. The Gupta Empire was rising, hungry for the rich Gandharan lands. But the final blow? Plot twist. It came from within. The Kushan royal family fractured. Succession disputes. Civil wars. Regional governors declaring independence. What nobody expected was how fast it would all unravel. By 270 CE, the great Kushan Empire had splintered into petty kingdoms. Vassal states fighting over scraps of a shattered glory. The coins that once circulated across continents now bore the names of forgotten princes ruling forgotten towns. But here's what haunts historians to this day. The Kushans didn't just fall. They vanished. Their language disappeared. Their records destroyed. Their very name erased from memory for over 1,000 years. But wait. The final blow came from within. And here's what makes the Kushan story truly remarkable. For over 1,000 years, the Western world forgot they ever existed. Think about that. An empire that rivaled Rome. An empire that changed the course of world religion. An empire that connected civilizations. Gone. Erased. It wasn't until the 1800s that European archaeologists began piecing together the puzzle. Strange coins with Greek letters and Indian scripts. Buddhist statues with suspiciously Greek faces. References in Chinese chronicles to a mysterious Western kingdom called Kushan. Slowly, incredibly, the Kushans came back from oblivion. And what followed would echo through centuries. Today we know they created what scholars call the first truly global culture. Gandharan Buddhist art, born under Kushan rule, influenced everything from Japanese temple sculpture to Tibetan religious painting. The trade networks they built laid the foundation for centuries of Asian commerce. The religious tolerance they practiced became a model that later empires would emulate. The Kushans didn't just disappear. They dissolved into everything that came after. What followed would echo through centuries. And maybe that's the real lesson of the Kushan Empire. Empires built on geography can be destroyed by technology. Trade routes shift. Military advantages fade. But ideas, religions, art forms? Those survive anything. The Kushans understood something that we're only now beginning to appreciate. At the crossroads of civilization, you don't just tax the passing traffic. You become the meeting place where cultures merge, transform, and create something entirely new. They were refugees who built an empire. Nomads who became the guardians of civilization's greatest exchange. And when they fell, they left behind something more valuable than gold or territory. They left behind the blueprint for how different cultures can enrich each other. The Kushan Empire may have vanished from the map, but their legacy? That lives on in every Buddhist temple from Tokyo to Tibet. In every museum displaying their remarkable art. In every historian who studies how civilizations truly rise and fall. Now you know the real story of the empire that connected the ancient world. And then was forgotten for 1,000 years. Subscribe to witness more empires fall. We tell the real stories history books won't. Every throne eventually crumbles. But which empire should we explore next? The Byzantine dynasty that lasted 1,000 years? The Khmer who built Angkor Wat and then abandoned it to the jungle? Tell me in the comments. Your suggestion might become our next video. And if this story changed how you see the ancient world, that like button helps more people discover these forgotten histories. Until next time, remember: empires rise, empires fall. The stories remain.